He's in a good stadium, isn't he, with a little bit of history? Let's go to the commissioner.
With the second choice in the draft, the San Diego Chargers select quarterback, Washington State University, Ryan Leaf.
Big guy.
The hugs from the Leaf Brigade, or I guess we should call it a forest. Why not? Because there's lightning bolts here at Dawning, the theater in New York. Ryan Leaf from behind stage to front and center. And like I said, great pedigree with throwing the football at San Diego. He stays on the West Coast.
And he only had 32 members of his family here last night.
Why not? I said it's a forest.
It's great. It should be. You're right.
And you know what's best about these kids is I say they're kids, but these young men who we've gotten to know a little bit, and I don't know either of them well, but they're just fun to be around, in addition to fun to watch play football.
They are, and in sitting with them last night, having a chance to visit with them, both of them have made this simple statement. They're ready to get it started now. They're ready to get it going. They want to get on to the next level of their life, and now the moment has come.
Is the ceiling higher in your mind for Ryan Leaf, Mel, than it is for Peyton Manning? As Alex Spanos, the owner of the Chargers, he brought 2 jerseys too. He could file that Manning jersey and sell that at a charity auction. There he is, Ryan Leaf, 16. Is the ceiling higher on him, perhaps?
Well, I really believe, Chris, when you look back at this trade, San Diego moving up from 3 to 2, 5 years from now, it may not look like Bobby Beathard gave up enough. This kid has tremendous potential, great physical ability, throws the ball all over the field. And I think when you look at San Diego, they were fortunate to have this pick. They tried to trade away the 98 first-round pick in the second round last year. So Bobby Beathard, fortunate to have that choice to get a Ryan Leaf. Touchdowns 33. Of course, he was the guy that led that team into the Rose Bowl, really carried that football team on his shoulders throughout the season. You see the ability to throw across the body and still throw strikes down the field. That's why his accuracy is questioned sometimes, because look what he tries to do. Always that gunslinger, doing whatever he can to get the ball in the hands of the receiver. Remember, this kid's 245, 250 pounds, so defensive ends coming off the blind side or attacking the pocket are not going to be able to intimidate Ryan Leaf or take him down very easily, because he can shrug off defenders a la Roman Gabriel, the former Ram. And what you really liked this year was the poise. You see how he's not flustered. Mike Price, I thought, worked with him last summer, quarterback coach, head coach with the Cougars, and Mike Price deserves a lot of credit for transforming Ryan Leaf into this great quarterback that he was this season.
And now he goes, Joe, with assistants like June Jones and Joe Bugle. Who has the better situation, Leaf or Manning, or are they both very good and very nurturing for them?
I think you have to compare their situations, not just to the coaching aspect, but the people around him. For example, from a coaching standpoint, I think it's fairly even. I think both of them will benefit. Bruce Arians in Indianapolis, June Jones in San Diego, excellent quarterback coaches. They're both in systems that will allow them to develop as quarterbacks. Offensive line, I think Leaf has a little bit of an advantage right now. San Diego went out and got Aaron Taylor and John Jackson to really handle a terrible problem they had. Skill positions, I think the advantage goes to Manning a little bit. And the last part would be the defense. I think also Manning gets a little bit of an edge in Indianapolis. Ryan Leaf is going to have to go in and grow up with this football team. Peyton Manning is going to come into a football team that has a lot of pieces in place. So if you're Manning coming in, I think the expectations will be higher because the football team has a little bit more around it.
I'm almost sure that Peyton will start in week 1. I think Ryan Leaf may not start for about a month. He may wait behind Wheelahan, but if you're looking at the schedule, week 5, October 4th, San Diego at Indianapolis. Will it by then be Leaf against Manning? Something to point out very early in the season. 93, we had the identical situation when Bill Parcells played the same sort of bluff. Was it Bledsoe? Was it Meyer? The Patriots took Drew Bledsoe. Rick Meyer never panned out in Seattle, and now he's in Chicago. In 71, it was 1-2-3. Jim Plunkett with Boston, Peyton's dad Archie with the Saints, and Dan Pastorini with Houston. Arizona's now on the clock. Will they trade down? We know it's Andre Wadsworth, but yet so does everyone else. The calls are coming in to the desert. They'll spend the full 15. There's the War Room.
It's an Acura 24-valve V6, like the Acura NSX. It's the power sequential multi-port fuel injection, like the NSX. It's four-wheel independent double wishbone suspension, like the NSX. It's comfortable seating for 5, like 2.5 NSXs. It's the TL from Acura, the true definition of luxury. Yours.
What's the matter, clown boy? You need to make a call, but you don't have the change. Just use 1-800-COLLECT. Go ahead, make some calls. You'll save a bundle. That's great. Mine's 1-800-COLLECT. 10 cents a minute every evening.
Troy Aikman is back to pass. He's looking, look out. Oh, Aikman goes down.
He had a man wide open. What was he thinking?
Brute. It's all part of the game.
All right, guys. Same play.
It has the power to excite you. It has the power to move you. It has the power to take you places you never knew existed. It is, of course, your Visa card, with the power to get you a seat to Michael Tilson Thomas and the San Francisco Symphony at Davies Symphony Hall. So bring your Visa card, because you can't get in using American Express. Visa, it's everywhere you want to be.
One word?
Dominating.
Dominating.
Speed. Quick.
Bruce Smith.
Intensity. Relentless.
Devastating.
Performer.
Wow.
Beyond. Exciting. Exciting. Athletic. Playmaker. Skill. Flashy. Smooth. Athlete. Scary.
We've had the quarterback time. We may not have another quarterback drafted today in the first 3 rounds. May not. But now it's the time for Andre Wadsworth and Charles Woodson, 2 tremendous players who may make this draft, along with two quarterbacks, one that we shall never forget for those of us that love and follow pro football. Mike Golick is out in the desert. Let's check in with him right now. Mike?
Thanks, Boomer. Well, Andre Wadsworth is their man if a deal isn't put in front of him. As we're speaking, Vice President of Player Personnel Bob Ferguson has been on the phone in the war room talking to some of the teams or getting involved in some conversation. But if no deal is done, Andre Wadsworth will be the man. Let's send it back to you, Chris.
I think, guys, thanks, Michael. I think that when you heard Bill Polian, who ought to know a little bit about Bruce Smith, say, well, how would you describe Andre Wadsworth? Bruce Smith. We have not had, Mel and Joe, a lineman, a pass rusher ranked this high since Bruce Smith and Ray Childress came out in 1985. That speaks volumes. The pick is up to the commissioner, so Arizona obviously has held all calls.
With the 3rd pick in the draft, the Arizona Cardinals select defensive end from Florida State University, Andre Wadsworth.
Fittingly, in Arizona, the defensive line coach for Vince Tobin is one of the greatest of all time. Joe Green and the Steel Curtain. And now he has Eric Swan, Simeon Rice, and Andre Wadsworth, along with Aeneas Williams at a corner. Folks, I know this Cardinal team was 4-12, but you put those 3 guys on the front line with one of the best corner cover guys in football. This is a dictating defense.
Well, it really is. Look at all the close games the Cardinals lost last year. That may not happen in '98. They had also a great young quarterback in Jake Plummer. Wadsworth, 275 pounds, a la Bruce Smith. Look at the sack total and the pressures. This is a guy who played defensive tackle and nose tackle until this year. Look at the way he uses his arms and hands, strong hands, where he gets off of blocks tremendously well, and then has that great speed. Look how he closes on the quarterback there. That's what separates him. Look at the athleticism as well coming up here. This is what you're talking about. Athletic ability, speed, dominating qualities. Watch this play against Ohio State. That's what separates Andre Wadsworth from all the other great defensive ends that have come along. He's a special player, even more special than his playing ability, Chris, as a person. Great character. He's going to be a major asset to the Arizona Cardinal football team, majorly on the field, but as well as off the field and in the locker room.
Something to remember about the Arizona Cardinals here. I'm not putting them in a Super Bowl, but this is a team with a 5th-place schedule with a dictating defense. The Giants wrote a 5th-place schedule to the division championship last year in the NFC East. Arizona moving up the board. Boy, they have made some big changes since Bob Ferguson went out there and helped them organize their drafts. Charles Woodson, he should be next. We'll be back.
What should you expect from a dealership when you're shopping for a new car or truck? At Bill Utter Ford, you can expect a dealership that takes care of the little things. A dealership that makes buying easy. At Bill Utter Ford, you can expect an utterly affordable